much. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for this amazing space, you Dakinis. This is amazing. I've never read in a place quite like this. Brought my own medal. So I'm going to begin first with a morning song for my friend Akilah Oliver, who passed away about a year ago. She was a very sensitive poet. She had lost her own child 5-6 years ago, and then died herself, carried that burden. She was a Dharma poet sister, worked at Naropa University many years, and had begun as a student there with one of the scholarship summer situations, and then ended up staying. I watched her to grow and develop as a poet. Her death was very difficult for many of us, but it also furthered a certain energy and commitment, further commitment to her work, her vision, her interesting mind, her intellectus. Sumshan morning song for Akilah. And now the words, and now the words. I am grieving all by myself, and then with others. She's alone on the bed, dead in her clench, without all warning. I am grieving, and now the words. Yea-ah, yea-ah, ki-ki-ki-la. Ah-ki-ki-ki-ki-ki-la-la-la-la-la. Keel over and on. What's the meaning of what I'm saying? What in the world hears the death of a poet? Because poets never die. That's what they say up in heaven and below in hell. Poets never die. I'll force the river to run upstream, force the sun to go out. The stars will fall down from their spheres. Then we will know a poet never dies. Me sick at heart and others crying on their sleeves, everything dark in her bardo. Where she moves, keep it moving inside. Heart's heart of us crying on each other, crying on the time. Time stops and there's a clench without all warning to do what I can't do, undo. Ah, ki, la, la, la. Can't do, take back to soothe, and then we would laugh. Little woman in the corner of the sky, all lit up with light for nothing but laugh like a girl. Nothing, little child in the sky, waiting. I'm down here, waiting down like the rest of you. Why talk? The child is waiting. Will come, kee, la, 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 to make her spirit dance. I say this costly lament. What does it cost to lament a poet? Cost is inestimable. There is nothing to equal it, and poets teach how to lament. A whole life away from you, watching it grow, cut short, watching it grow. Song of moaning, sing your name. Ah, ki, la, ki, Akilah. This one, she was a one, she was a one, she was a one, she is a one. Go on, she is a one, she was a one. Ah, ki, la, la, la. For Akilah. And there's a lot of wonderful energy around her work, scholarships and prizes being set up in her name, and she was recently teaching in New York, and of course for all those years at Naropa. And our last conversation had to do with the, died in February of last year, to do with the Arab Spring, the uprisings over there, and specifically the situation in Egypt. And she died just as all that was sort of crusting, and I was so happy and got involved with some of the, later on, the Occupy movement that she would have been, I think, very, very close to. And so this is a song, verses put to Go Down Moses. Written recently around the... So I'm just doing a few recent things, and then I'd like to launch into some of Manatee and the Yovis trilogy. The prisons of Egypt go back far, to Joseph in the house of Potiphar. Check the papyrus, check the astrology, down the stair of time in a theocratic dynasty. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Death is before me today like the odor of myrrh, like sitting under a sail on a windy day. Death before me today like a hangman's noose. In the torture chambers of Egypt you rarely get loose. Al-Qaeda bred in the prisons of Egypt, nurturing hatred, the prisons of Egypt. CIA operatives in the prisons of Egypt, complicit waterboarding body and soul in the prisons of Egypt. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Shackled and outraged in capitalism's jail, gagged and bound by the Federal Exchange alpha male. What will it take to get the mind stable? What will it take? Get food on every table. Go down, Bloomberg, way down in New York land. Tell old Bloomberg, Wall Street, let my people go. Rise up, Cairo, rise up, Port Said. Rise up, Alexandria, rise up your knee. Rise up, El Karga, rise up your voice. Prisons of Egypt gave you no choice. Rise up, US of A, rise up your voice. Capitals, prisons, leave you no choice. It's the paradigm, only game in town. Support the occupiers of Wall Street, don't let them down. Go down, Bloomberg, way down in New York land. Tell old Wall Street and all the pharaohs, let my people go. Over dividing of shape of a bed, a tilling of fields. Start from a work of persons and rise up not like a veil of unsanctified tears. A work in love is never unsanctified enigma, if not but pure flow and consent, or rip in the veil which is sanctuary for persons, be they same or other. As a waterfall never falling in the same sanctuary twice, an abode for our bodies of union of persons, step up to the altar of ancestors together who were union, who were civil, who were convivial behind a veil. Step it up, convivial, show them and rip the veil off the eyes of the enemies of veil. See it another way, declare the space to be an abode of bodies. See through the waterfall to them behind a veil that was protecting the face of another. Same face, same base, same trace, same pace, same grace, same lace, marriage. A civil veil, or it is my vow, my vowels and vocables to be this same, which is never that same, one in gender, constructed, eros, faced marriage. We are never the same in same-sexed love, but law is civil and protects the abode of bodies. Say it, law is civil, or rival is civid, is civilized, is civilians, is not chilling. Gone is the time of boundaries, of veils, or tiers of borderlines, of separating cascades of enigmas and hiddenness. Gone is that chilling time that does not witness the desire to be seen, to be witness of this union behind a boundary, beyond a boundary, same or reciprocal, or solidarity pacts. It is over, gone, over and done with, that violent time, over, of hiding the shape of a bed, the shape of a clearing in a forest where you lie down, soft, mossy spot. You come together there, the ancient green moss and secluded spot you come together again there, you of former hiddenness and sorrow. Lie down and come together then, and making do in the secret chamber, sought the place you walked there. You found a secluded spot where deer bedded, where deer waited, and you stepped there and sank there on knees in a very hot, devoted love, where you ripped the veils from the fear of prying eyes and welcomed the presence of natural world, and say something like, world as sky is my witness, world as earth is my witness. Come here, my weeds, and remove these weeds to our sameness. See our sameness and remove the borders to our sameness, as weeds are my witness. Come, my hands, to your natural weeds and remove the fear of our sameness and see the beauty of our sameness and not sameness. Touch the body of our sameness that you know, and hiddenness you know, clothing that waits by the side of bedding down, and eyes you know in hiddenness, fields of eyes not prying, not hidden. It was natural, very natural to do this, to bed down in a clearing away from prying eyes and metabolic strangulation. Who said unnatural this contract, this contact, a vow against perpetual writing of denial, as wilderness is my witness, as wildness is my witness. I take this vow in the wilderness. It is over, gone, and done, over and done with, being behind the hiddenness of the marriage veil, behind it a valence, a balance. And what is the essence of this rhythm? As in music, as in music which knows no boundary, rip the boundary that is veil, where it tunes to the body of sameness, beautiful, same but never the same music, consciousness as in music, and civil, it is civil, and civil, it is a demand to be civil, as a cascade is civil, as from the tilling of fields, and this world is a cultivation of new things in civility. It is a sure thing to witness. This is a section of some new work called The Deciders. The Deciders took Anne apart, organ by organ, sinew by sinew, and they copied these parts into the husk of the new Anne with skill and dark intent. As they did this, they would pause, muling into their sinister autopsy. Little organ of original Anne, what can you do for us now? Little eyes of original Anne, what will you accomplish now? And you, sinews that bind operation of motion, where walk you now? Tongue that composed many ballads and odes for your time, how will you sing? They gloated in their desire to reveal the nothingness of all things and to murder poetry. They could not remove or mutate her consciousness, which stayed intact in the retreat and isolation of the original Anne. They made their copy a mockery of the original Anne, undoing the mana of the original Anne, whom they cast into a prison while they went about their plot of alienating humans from their linguistic natures. Language would become separated, torn. There was a decider of the fifth rank of the state of rectilinear space as it applies to a subject's metabolism, decider of how many gold stars on a bonnet, or for one entering the room of major decision-making feeling diminished, there was a decider sitting behind a massive desk of protocol and power, facing windows of gray light in sad, anemic offices over which more deciders preside, deciders of who leaves or stays, who gets laid off, who must be demoted, who closes rank. It was not a happy world. That's something that you just have to go through with infrastructure work, where you have to deal with deciders, sit behind mahogany desks. A little from the Manatee Humanity Project, which began with an encounter with a wounded female manatee in an aquarium in Florida, where Jeb Bush had just taken the manatee off the endangered species list. So that encounter, where I felt the greater sympathy for me, staring into this creature's eyes, so archivally deep, and so it led to this project, Manatee Humanity Project, which also involved a series of dreams, and the Buddhist kind of modeled a little on the Buddhist Kala Chakra initiation in a 3-day ceremony, outer, inner, and secret moments. And Kala Chakra is a meditation on the nature of time. So all this plays in various ways into this long sort of hybrid narrative text. I'll just jump in a little bit, a few little lines from others. Effort lay in us before religions at pond bottom. Marie Miediger. Lurga songs are received by the mermaid dreamings who live in billabongs. It's a nice connection to manatee and mermaid in the various lores. The word manatee comes from Manitou, a Taino Caribbean word meaning breast. Drunken sailors would see manatee come up with seaweed. I think they were strange women. Out and starts the mermaiden with a fan into her hand. Keep up your hearts, my merry men, for you're near the dry land. Out and spake Earl Patrick Graham with a soft tear in his ee. Now sin we've seen the mermaiden, dry land we'll never see. Stealth bombers, ghost shrouds, Tibetan journeying spaces of time between magnets and continents, causeways into another continuum. Kamau Brathwaite. The manatees found in slow-moving rivers. The manatee moves in estuaries, moves in saltwater bays. And why did my brain incubate all those long years? And why was it not using its genius to make fire? And why not art, the making of which would stir neurons further and touching the texture of stone, shaping hand to stone, putting marks upon it further? Why not? Why to further beauty in the making of art? And why in sound too, not making music all those long years? Sounds imitate what must have been the call of birds or of the body to internal hum and chatter and growl and woo 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 woo, parts of the body convening together as alluvial, as sound together alluvial, alluvial, both by kin of this action. Left hand lifts, kind palm open, hands free for greater locomotion. Out on open savanna, slope of beckoning. Now swing, turn, grab a kindred object. How you feel attraction, hold, offer a mandible heart. Cross-dressed body puts on syncretic pelt and moves as in plucky mating dance. Stabs at promise. Tongues, word, stand up, looking eye to eye, my grip around your legs. Footprints at Laetoli, 3 Australopithecines crossed a carpet of fresh volcanic ash, walking much as we do in 2-legged gait. Hip and leg gone much the way toward human form in place of what in ape suits them for swinging through trees, scamper on all fours across a line that leads to man. And now your representation is in the symbolic code of language. Manatee, humanity, and run your hand along a restless spine. It was a time of fossil fuel priorities, of precious business time. That's what they'll say about us centuries hence. It was a busy, get on with it business time, so better get on with it time. They fucked us over in their greedy, get over it time. That's what they'll say about us. What were they thinking? Stupid fuckers. It was commodification, fun hog time. Time modification time. Got on with time. We killed time. They fucked us over. And our future time will be surely more stressed in time. That's what they'll be saying. That's what they'll say. They got on with it, saying about us going nowhere, but going down, and us all with them. What were they thinking in their selfish minds? Us, us, us. That's what they'll say about us, generations hence. How living then hence without so many animals then. They fucked the world over in their sweet avaricious time frame. That's what they'll say about us, those stupid fuckers. They let the animals die. They let the plants die. They kill the air. They kill the water. They killed each other. They killed language. Humdrum. Paleolithic, where we could talk in sweet time notches. Well, that's over. Where did that ever evolve to? Then along 20,000 years of keeping time once, keeping it for all, and moving it time forward, and it the art forward, and it humanity forward, and now they want to kill it. Really, they killed it. Then along rim of Babylonian, rim of Egyptian, 5,000 years once ago. Such progress, they kill all that too, stupid fuckers. Then but now, my solar day, my lunar month, My solar year, my speed I inherited from them. What time is it now? And we resumed our talk after these excessive outbreaks, discussing the nature of calibration, how different times give the peculiarities and particulars of people and praxis and place and thought systems and become their own zones in this. We spoke of lustrations and the architectures of spiritual places, of constructing mandalas with colored sand and the women who dance on the precipice of eclipses, performance and ritual under arches, pillars that delineate the way to move as a chorus might, open atriums, they are moving into the augur space, the place of frequent animal sacrifice. We're near sidereal time, 2 passages of the mean sun time, he cautioned, and that is relative. Both, he cautioned further, it's quite unconscionably relative. That doesn't explain, I protested, the way we brutalize time. The aquarium, deserted now. This is the song at dusk I write in the notebook. Strange skin, not quite. Seal, not quite. Dolphin, inchoate. Texture like something you forget. Something you didn't even see the first time. Old shoe, sentient being with others in watery caves. Lights off with motive and mind up ladder. Moving, quixotic, mind and mouth moving, quick, flick you who are me, who haunt me, please haunt me. Summoned by the dream, the kusha grass instructs, you might say a kind of ceremony, gather up these nightmares, this in public space, where many minds meet and pass around the objects of the dream, a blindfold, a crystal, a card with a bodhisattva upon it. Gather these up and make an offering. All the bhikkhus going down on their knees for this, and this world marked out by the augur interstices between living and dead, and imitation and initiation on the nature of time and of continuity in a dark time. Mean world humanity, dream world manatee, secret world Om Mani Padme Manatee, Om Mani Humanity, Om Mani Padme Humanity, Om Mani Humanity, Om. The center of reference, because this movement in the ritual. The manatee is found in shallow, slow-moving rivers. The manatee moves in estuaries, moves in saltwater bays. The manatee in moving moves gently. The manatee is to be found in canals and coastal areas. The manatee is a migratory animal. The manatee is gentle and slow-moving. The manatee moves in slow-moving rivers slowly. The manatee is completely herbivorous. The West Indian manatee has no natural enemies. The manatee has no natural enemies, but unnatural man. The manatee is constantly threatened by man unnaturally, man with his boats and plastic and attitude. The manatee often drowns in canal locks of man, man who makes no concession to manatee. The manatee often dies in flood control structures, man who makes no concession to manatee, nor cares of manatee life, manatee fortune. The manatee dies in collision with watercraft. Man who does not protect the manatee. What steward of the earth is this unnatural man? Man who makes no concession to manatee. The manatee dies with the ingestion of fish hooks. Man who unnaturally makes no concession. The manatee dies from litter and monofilament lines. Man who is rank in attitude has no use for manatee. The manatee dies entrapped in crab trap lines. The manatee dies from loss of habitat claimed by man. The manatee is maimed by man. The manatee could be aided by man. Man, oh aid the manatee. Come to the manatee heart. A manatee calf is born every 2 to 5 years. A manatee gestates for a year in the manatee womb. 8,400 miles of tidal waters could be for the manatee. 11,000 miles of rivers and stream could be for the manatee. 10,000 miles of canals would they all be for the manatee. The manatee has more gray matter in the brain than man. The manatee is perhaps thinking archivally deeper than man. Ancient days of manatee, so many thousands of years. Manatee mind, what is the mind of manatee? The manatee has no natural enemies. The manatee is completely herbivorous. The metabolism of the manatee is slow, moves slowly. The manatee moves in estuaries, moves in saltwater bays. The manatee moves in slow-moving rivers. The manatee is gentle. The manatee offspring nurses for up to 2 years. The manatee learns everything from the manatee mother. Manatee mothers and offspring sing to one another. The manatee have large ear bones. Chirps, whistles, squeaks of the manatee moving slowly, moves gently, oscillation of the manatee moving between manatee ears, ears of the manatee mother and manatee offspring. Manatee are our sirenians and live in the house of the sirens. Where are the human sanctuaries for manatee? Manatee, mermaids, sirens, singing, move slowly. The manatee mother and calf so bonded. Female manatee bonded with her just one manatee offspring. The manatees found in shallow, slow-moving rivers. The manatee moves in estuaries, moves in saltwater bays. The manatee moving, moves gently. And where you the keys in lock to fit in high old shaman time, where resuming is always the way back around to fit, start over, resume, what view from nowhere is to ask to fit the thigh bone for eschatological time. She's giving you a dark look in the creation myth. She's the first to experience death, generate heroic kind reality with stimulation of the phantom world around you, women who have been ill-used around you, animal study which has philology, stepping stone, set in white sand, stepping stone, set in white sand, remind her of the Milky Way. Alter one genome and you are in consciousness assumed, or presumed to say this in particular style or color, but to know or toward your inside or inside nature of all the breaths, and one day resume, not manifest by chopped up existence and a pest. Abandon knowing you are not the gnosis of that word, counting, count what is gap between, but never calculating, not a pest. Take the measure. She is standing tall, stood up in a leg. She is standing tall, came together, upright, all the personalities in person to stand up tall. She takes the worried look off her face. Who can presume? Who never over plural. She locks it up in a music box. She folds it, fragile skin in the music box. The max to go to, locality, place, advantage, service. Tomorrow the thick skin she wears, a fur maid will show the day. Trying it on. There has to be more than one universe in this fucking precious, dark, psychological time, crossing the white sand to wait upon the water's edge. Brittle stalks of autumn grass, expand a portfolio that already includes submarines, tanks, heavy artillery weapons like the howitzer. Or do not do this ever again. She performs to measure the way, performs to measure that animal way. Animal is that bank under her chest, bent under her chest, close to the heart. And human brain, will you lift up to that? Bent under chest, standing up, performing, sounding. My wolf pulling back his ears in suspicion. Ice Age survivor of the late Pleistocene, my narrow-eyed lover, my wolf going up and down the path of the Milky Way. Women know it as Wolf Road, my extirpated wolf in these parts, roaming the ponderous and mixed conifer forest. In the dream I'm holding my kusha grass, my grass of pristine awareness. She says this, counting all the atoms in her day, all the breaths in a day. Will he have her? Will he have her? Will he hold her? Will he have her? Will he hold her? Drop by drop, secrets of battle, drop by drop. Then someone else for them covers you with a soft cloth, could take something out, move other utensils around, and draw a deity in the sand. She crouched in the dirt now, terrified. She does know slaughter, childhood fear, fear of slaughter, fear of animal slaughter. Make no blunder today of that. That's no way to blunder. Slaughter, daughter, mercy, daughter of, conditioned in a kind cartouche of light, haltingly because cosmos is free and disintegrating. How can you ever contain the child? Will he have her? Will he have her? Will she keep her? Will he keep her? Will she keep him drop by drop in any worn, torn, all of them, land that is no father, father that again is, again, father revenge and suffering, your dense neuron star, standing in for all the animals, counting how do animals to make love to, how on metabolism calibrated, I'm standing in for all of them, random in the thicket, an image in eye, terabytes, gigabytes. Would you scorn, could you? Dear me, Goyle, get out of here! Dear me, Goyle, get out of here! She's standing tall before me in a galaxy 7 billion light years away, saying, dear big oil, out, 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 get out of here. Om Mani Padme Manati, Om Manati Padme Hum. Was time to a sentient being mere animal instinct? In what way may I prevail? Type thought, enter the head, and sentient being is an automatic. Sentient being might as well be robot in all your scopes conducting that review, because it is dominance, survival, and how does the mind go watching other clever hermaphrodite survive, counting the waves and tides, and how does the interspecies sentient being survive, sink, swim, climb, tree, burrow under? Was it to smile ambiguously or weep to gain sympathy? Many motives to attribute to sentient being, among them the motive of digression and parlaying to advantage. The sentient being needs to get his, her act together at the bargaining table. Chips are down and everyone is playing close to vest, to the chest, the community chest pork barrel might be some cause for alarm. The coffers are emptying. Where do time and money go? Oh, animal, realm free of money. Sentient being quips after midnight. He's just going to collapse and go to bed. Then sentient being nightmares arrive, fear of death, while other sentient beings joking, puffing on a sentient being is making an odd impression on this late hour in patriarchal space. The Marquis and his cups, and she for the sake of unity, and sentient being might collapse in stupor. Life is so hard. How does one pity the sentient being? Well, the sentient being has a chance for greater depth, perception, and awareness. No surroundings can construct mandalas and diagrams. Movie opening scene with a sentient being who goes down on another who is solvent for the going and then raises a weapon in hand. Oh, it's just too silly. It's a joke on sentient being, or maybe a sentient being just sticks around in a silly movie looking for something to do, not enough motivation, and okay, decides to rob a bank, and the sentient being goes into hiding with 3 women, one who is merely or really or maybe a man, weird sex with all 3. A sentient being gets in a car in a North African city. Then a sentient being fires a shot into the colorful street market. Sentient being incarcerated fantasizes escape. It's a bombed-out villa somewhere. It's an empty and smoggy city. Sentient being looking now serious, or deserted boatyard pants into long walk along piers. Someone pauses, turns around, music, someone orchestral swells. It's taking place under the L train in your old hometown somewhere. Something repeats in a filmed episode. That is the sentient being, fragile with the light whirs behind the little bulb. The sentient being, a small machine, or it's a playground trying to return to the scene of a telltale pair of, you know what I'm saying. It's a parent and a child escaping the 21st century. No pets allowed. What is choice? There is a voyage, an ocean, a shot of water. There is destitution in Hong Kong, a funny zone of control, demarcation in another Asian city. Vehicles are maneuvered, windows are opening. Something to be felt imminent. In the comedy, someone slips and falls down. Need this epistemology, the start of the new moon beginning with a crescent, or is it man, tiger, rabbit in that? Moon, manatee. So from this long project, about a 25-year journey of the Iovis trilogy, Iovis, I-O-V-I-S, from the of Job, literally, came out of a little bibliomancy with opening the Aeneid and coming on the line, Iovis omnia plena, all is full of Job, so of Job, of the generative, all is full of his sperm and his deeds, and so it was a way to call out some of the history, looking at the epikos as a form that could encompass a slice of time in belletristic time and wartime and time for watching my son grow, and it was written in a way for him and his generation. It's very montage-like, and 3 books, lots of chapters and lots of genres and different forms to tell a sort of layered time. So I'll just jump into some. This is sort of, I'm able to do these now, these kind of permutations, and play with the text in this way, and have the text sort of suggest recombinant parts and visions of those parts. And it's very dense and meant to be read. I'm going to work with some of the more performative sections. Individual who is effective drama, dear John Cage. Complete unfinished animals who complete ourselves through culture, through highly particular forms of it. Javanese, Hopi, upper class, lower middle, you were on the fringes too. Our plasticity has been remarked upon, but even more how dependent on a certain sort of learning, whether stripping, rubbing, attainment of this concept, I tell you it is true. Specific systems of symbolic meaning. Beaver, build a dam. Bird, you build your nest today. Baboon, organize into social groups. Do this now. And baboons organize into social groups. Go down to the mice mating on the basis of forms that rest on instructions coded in their genes. She's roused to write on call for a performance. The poet needs summoning from mental torpor, welcomes a structure which she creates with dogged attention. She also gives her students the same assignment to write every day within the same hour in the same spot. One woman never leaves the laundry closet. John Cage is quintessential artist of his century, likely the most innovative. His passivity, if you could call it that, gentle and active. Work is fierce pace, homage, and a kind of twilight meditation. Whatever sounds come out of her composed in this chance operation. Dare to accompany an evening of music. Stein ringing in the ear. Such a man. Cage seems the androgynous alchemist. Dear John Cage. 9:10, he invites my voice in. Did you say it? What? What was it? A sobbing stream. It was an unsteady thing. No, it was a crystal. It was a crystal thing. It was a sure thing. Did you see them? Where? Living. I said it again, living. Did you see them? Rip it up, oh mine, kring, kling, chamanda ye vijaya. Who is a man, not cage? Who is a woman, not word? So the first part of the book has various homages to male heroes and colleagues, and celebrates the kind of mentors. My own life, the second volume moves into sort of more androgynous frameworks and reference. The plan for subsequent years' inscription was to keep dirge toned with the times and continue mind track of dailiness, dirge from dirige domine deus meus, direct my way into your sight, O Lord my God. Flash forward and back and into the middle of things, radiating out from 9/11, a decade of syncretic activity activism, what can be salvaged, will move to higher ground. Could it not be more dire, dirge our human circumstance, ignorant rejection of planet's urgent exigencies, its climate shifts? Planet has autoimmune deficiency, was what we were saying many moons back. Elemental forces, the kami perhaps, Shinto spirit essences of mountains, rivers, wind, lightning, rocks, do not favor industrialization and nuclear fission, do not welcome toxic assault upon land and water. In Shinto cosmology, a spear had originally stirred the waters, and when lifted, water drops fell from it. In the map of Japan, its 8 perfect islands. In this vision, the dead go to a gloomy underground called Yomi. The sun goddess Amaterasu, in dispute with her brother, was tricked out of her lair, and light returned to the universe. She was told there was a better goddess in the heavens. She rose to her vanity. We call out the Fish and Wildlife Service to amend their toxic ways, stop sleeping with the enemy. We call out the dystopias that surround us, the sending and receiving practice of Tonglen. I recommend again, as it is the crux of this project, take negativity upon oneself, call it out, breathe out the efficacy, practice empathy in all things, hold villains accountable. You might make a call for feminist mother poetics where the mother is man or woman. What forms will be transmissionable? Trust your encounters with non-human metabolic elementals such as snakes, and with the dream consciousness of your friends who pass on to the other side. Lament them, read their poems aloud in the company of friends. Threnodia, elegiacs, matins, lamentations, we live perhaps in fear of the human. How doth the city sit solitary? How has she become as a widow? She weepeth sore in the night, she is in bitterness, gone into captivity, O Judah! And pondering the ocume, or the inhabited world, common possession of civilization. Are we lamenting the dead or consoling ourselves, the survivors, sitting somewhere on the disputed Siachen Kashmir Glacier military market, and big bucks to be had in the global hawk drones, the J-stars, the upgraded U-2 spy planes, the river joint eavesdropping planes, or the joint air-to-surface standoff missiles of the future, the electromagnetic personnel interdiction plan, the silent guardian, the airborne laser, and the high-frequency active auroral research program developing weather systems as weapons. HARP will be able to enhance and prolong storms and cause floods or drought on specific targets. And the nuclear leakage into Japan exceeds 1,000 millisieverts into the sea. Dennis Hastert did not serve. Tom DeLay did not serve. Roy Blunt did not serve. Mitch McConnell did not serve. Rick Santorum did not serve. Trent Lott did not serve. John Ashcroft did not serve. Jeb Bush did not serve. Karl Rove did not serve. Saxby Chambliss did not serve. Paul Wolfowitz did not serve. Richard Pearl did not serve. Elliot Abrams did not serve. Newt Gingrich did not serve. George W. Bush failed to complete his 6-year National Guard, got assigned to Alabama so he could campaign for a family friend running for U.S. Senate, failed to show up, a required medical exam, disappeared from duty. Bill Graham did not serve. Rudy Giuliani did not serve. George Pataki did not serve. Spencer Abraham did not serve. John Engler did not serve. Lindsey Graham did not serve. Arnold Schwarzenegger, AWOL from Austrian Army, did not serve, did not serve, did not serve. And Waldman did not serve. And Waldman did not serve. There's some humor in the poem. Messages from the bifurcated world of duplicity and euphemism. Now you see it, now you don't. Speaking in double tongues, snakes writhe and hiss around the heart. What is the weirdness of religion all sides? What double standard?
In the Nilo-Saharan regions, at the end of the pluvials, the northern glacials, a religion of sun worship developed, perhaps in Abyssinia, as the land became desiccated. The sun was correctly seen as the source of all life, and in excess, the unstoppable taker of life. God the creator with a harsh edge. The enviro truth was associated with the sun in the heavens above, and by analogy was instituted in sun king leadership. It spread down the Nile and later into the Semitic male monotheisms. It retained a predominant magic which had to do with weather and social control. It was definitely concerned with immortality and devised vivid scenes of sacrifice for the transcendent Abraham. Magicians became priests in their institutional forms. Priests became corrupt and perverted the magic, binding with briars our joys and desires. Thugs donned the priest's mantle, yet the desert remained the central zone for potential enlightenment, even as metaphor. Hear them crying in the wilderness, a place devoid of beasts and plant life. Out of the charnel ground, the lover, a she of no small order, but modest in demeanor, rests her case here one moonlit night, chanting onward, onward, again, onward. And the enemies, who are they? Paranoid hallucinations of one another, churning, and more double speak, and more double speak. Poets, guard your words. Is there anyone under that burqa? If I had people in here, I'd want to know someone was looking too, Danny Nolan said. Danny Nolan has nightmares now, waking up screaming about the job sometimes. Friends from the past who have died visit him, like the old friend whose name he will not speak because of a belief that the name now belongs only to the soul. In the dream, the friend takes him into a strange room and shows him actual items that Mr. Nolan has seen recovered from the World Trade Center, things like African artifacts. This place is playing tricks on me, I guess. I met a man who killed a man, scattered fierce tea storms. Life is not the way it was supposed to, but allegorical. You were in a place where the future had come and gone. I met a man who crossed borders, fell back way into 20th century Oslo en route and fall by wayside and failed détente code to route one. Come out and suffer for it. War staked. People gone on a dime, entering outer Mongolia. He mass seducer, holy bounder. Seen anyone else that promises? Born in a crucible of heroin and rubble, the Taliban, all maps, all children suffer Taliban. But he's privileged on town wielder of psychological harm, not knowing the truth of SETI research conjures sadly into weapons in space. Smart bomb, bunker, bomb out of caves. How long, Daisy Cutter? Cut. How long be shredding? Doubt? Did I doubt? Stan Brakhage sees angels in the breaking. He's filming light. William Blake encodes a mind so diluted that it creates a universe it can no longer control. Light rays become glories you can't control. Imagination freezes that leaps for the light. What need control? The weak do, and they do posture and rule with their dangerous toys. Abruak, an Arab word for the ever-confident, pathetic state of humanity, rests on the notebook page tonight. What is communication? What is propaganda? Why is a choice not indeterminate? What is the arrogance of armies? What is the arrogance of an Anglophone empire? And how does it dare? What is the epikos? Why is the epikos a repository for your mind out of all the possibilities? What does your mitochondria whisper to you in the trenches of night? The Abbasid caliphs of Baghdad sponsored a translation of the whole corpus of Greek philosophy into Arabic in the 9th and 10th centuries, fighting a ban by the Christian emperors Ferdinand and Isabella, expelled the Jews in wars in 1492. In the New World, doubt, did I doubt? Did I doubt? What did I doubt? A circle or cloud or a raw mixed camera in the trees? What did the Pleistocene say about the notion of Pleistocene? Am I one of those? Was what the Pleistocene said. No such thing pursuit as just, no such problem as just what you make of it individually with your compromised ethics and rehabilitation plan, not your quaint Victorian Pleistocene trying to walk a straight line. Rhetorical devices being as shards are, as middens are. The Cold War gestures are still coming. Hungry ghost. Hungry ghost, a morphology all by itself between our realms. Hungry ghost, dwelling in consciousness that torments our desire. Sexy ghost, a demon, a gadfly, to never have enough, get enough, be enough, get enough. Never have enough, get enough, be enough. Dancing on coals, in a state of mind unsatisfied, unsettled over what he thinks, I think. Hieroglyphs in the hungry ghost world, unsatisfied, dancing on nails, jostled by waves, the real kind that pull you under. Hungry ghost, watching you in your hungry ghost watcher fabrication. Hungry ghost that is blurred between worlds, thrumming on your filaments of desire, threads of desire, constantly broken strings, plucked and snapped, connection. Never have enough, get enough, be enough. The fix is in. Hungry ghost of Jurassic large omnivores, startling you with appetite. How can you ever feed your ravenous hounds? The holy river right in front of you. River's in lockdown, bending over the river. Hungry ghost. Torturer can do anything he wants to. Maybe anyone can be bumped or busted. Brown paper bag over the head. Torture and death. Wipe the mouth away. Wipe the eyes away. Wipe the ears away. Wipe the long ago away. A better hand of death will guide you from this hungry ghost world. Gunned down on your own street. Code of executioner's light. Exultant, the civvies turned on to torture, wild laughter getting their kicks in the hungry ghost realm. Set teeth to knuckles, knuckles to knees, fists to bloated belly. A muzzle snaps, the lights go out there, trashing, thrashing, metal set to teeth, teeth to neck. Hungry ghost, being sexy again in a broken world, chamber of greed and brutality. The ghost that will never rest, your own grasping mind, mannerisms of the thumbs up, a code of hungry ghost, apprehension of where next. The fix is in, the fix is in, the fix is in. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Pursued by darker demons, curling the extra dimensions into Calabi-yaw spaces is no small feat. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Could be Ectopistus migratorius, the migratory wanderer. Could be. Pop it higher out of these small-minded ones. Subvert the schadenfreude of our time. Tonight, the two leaders attend the ballet as chemical agents are sprayed on a variety of ships and their crews. Operation Shipboard Hazard and Defense are busy using sarin, a nerve gas, or VX, a nerve agent, or streptococcal enterotoxin B. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat, rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. The fix is in.